So after former President Obama claimed credit for our current economic boom yesterday, President Trump fired back, saying the boom is due to rolling back Obama's policies by cutting regulations and taxes. So who's right? Who cares? Think about it. The debate we're having isn't over how great things are. That ship has sailed. The media and the Dems see there's no more denying the success, so now it's about quibbling over credit. Fine. Let the Dems have it. It won't win them election, but it might reduce their tears. Divorce rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men.
Greg Gutfeld just sparked a political wildfire under Barack Obama's carefully crafted legacy, reducing charm and speeches to ashes. With biting sarcasm and a steady stream of hard truths, Gutfeld cuts through the illusion of the hope and change presidency, revealing 8 years of unfulfilled promises, media adoration, and elite double standards. If you believed Obama's legacy was beyond criticism, think again. Gutfeld just tore off the mask, tossed it in the trash, and asked the question no one else dares to ask. What did he really accomplish?
Paul, is it helping the party to tell them to return to the rhetoric that helped them lose in 2024, like the dictator kind of stuff? It doesn't work on half the country. It's not going to get any better.
I don't think they have answers. And is it me? He's looking banged up.
Yeah, he's been having
it's the first time. It's something I've never seen with him. He looks scared.
Yeah.
Barack Obama pulled off one of the biggest political illusions of our time. He turned 8 years of letdowns into something that looked like a top-rated Netflix original with a 98% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Greg Gutfeld doesn't need a wand to break through that facade. Just a sharp wit, some solid facts, and zero patience for pretending that inspiring speeches make up for disastrous policies.
Asking you to believe, not in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can.
Oh, God. It was a moving speech, and the audience response equally moving. So if the Obama presidency were a film, this speech would be the climax. All that's missing is the horse, the sunset, the rousing closing music as the title card reads the end, perhaps in cursive.
Let's set the record straight. This guy managed the country like it was his online resume. Slick on the surface, but lacking real depth. You'd think he cured cancer, eliminated the national debt, and turned tap water into artisanal almond milk, judging by how people still gush over him. Meanwhile, Greg's checking the facts like, okay, but what did he really do besides ramp up drone missions and collect selfies with Hollywood elites?
With somebody that you don't like and you try to lose them at the party. That's what Obama has done to Joe. He's lost them at the party and now he's moving on, and then he tweets, and then you find out that he's tweeting about something else while you're at the party. And it's just, I think it's kind of mean to Joe. The second thing is that it's part of that I told you mechanism that only happens when things are good. Because do you think Obama would take any responsibility if the good times were actually bad times?
Gutfeld pulls back the curtain with the excitement of someone spotting the fine print on a shady warranty. Obama showed up promising hope and change, but by the time he left, hope was in counseling and change was camping out behind Whole Foods. The economy barely moved forward while the media praised it like a marathon. Wages stayed as flat as a vegan pancake, yet everyone acted like he was handing out golden tickets.
President Obama took another stand against evil yesterday, lashing out at ISIS, pernicious gang crime and human rights abuses in left-wing dictatorships like Venezuela and Cuba. I was kidding. He went after Fox News again.
I think the effort to suggest that the poor are sponges, leeches, are...
Let's break down the stimulus plan. That grand economic jolt meant to jumpstart the nation. Greg likens it to dumping a gallon of Gatorade on a raging wildfire and then wondering why the forest kept burning. It was a $1 trillion pity party with hardly anything to show for it, unless you count the flashy signs boasting about all the recovery underway. Spoiler alert, those signs cost more than the jobs they claimed to create.
In an act of wonderfully skewed priorities, President Obama will appear in a reality TV show in which he gets survival tips from Bear Grylls in Alaska. Funny how far that is from the streets of Chicago, outposts in need of real survival training, much like the streets of Baltimore, Milwaukee, New York, New Orleans, where citizens are ventilated daily.
And healthcare, that was supposed to be Obama's crown jewel, or maybe more like a crown of thorns, depending on how often you check your deductible. Greg lights that mess up like it's a Christmas tree during a blackout. The rollout looked like it was designed by interns who'd never seen a computer before. Remember when folks were promised they could keep their doctor? Well, Greg's probably still searching for his, maybe somewhere up in Canada by now. The Affordable Care Act ended up being less affordable and more congratulations. Now you're confused and broke. And the Nobel Peace Prize? That still cracks Greg up. It's like giving someone a gold medal just for showing up to the race in a flashy tracksuit. Meanwhile, the media gave him a standing ovation, as if bombing a wedding party was just a scheduling slip-up. Then there's the surveillance state. Obama campaigned on transparency, but ended up making the NSA the unofficial sponsor of Big Brother, America Edition. Greg calls it the biggest bait and switch since decaf coffee. Privacy disappeared faster than approval ratings, but since he said it in a calm voice, people nodded along like they were at a TED Talk.
Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it! When she cleans it!
Let's rewind to Wall Street. Obama was supposed to be the defender of the little guy, but once in office, the only thing little about his administration was how rarely he said no to Wall Street's demands. Spoiler alert, that was never. Greg compares it to hiring a fox to watch the henhouse, then wondering why there's feathers and blood all over the place. The banks walked away fat, happy, and untouchable, while Main Street got a participation trophy and a foreclosure notice. Obama didn't need a press secretary, he had the entire media industry doing his dirty work. Greg calls it the golden era of journalistic bootlicking. Every move was historic. Every mistake was tactical. Every disaster was nuanced. If Obama sneezed, there'd be a whole panel on MSNBC explaining how it was a groundbreaking climate strategy.
And maybe Obama had something to do with today's economy. I mean, without Obama, would we have Trump? Fact is, this debate says a lot about life today. The Trump economy is so great that Trump haters now want credit for it. Next thing you know, Obama will claim credit for putting kids in cages.
Education, please. Obama's big plan for fixing schools was basically tossing cash into the bureaucratic fire and hoping a phoenix would rise from standardized testing. Greg calls it academic trickle-down economics. Just dump billions on the unions and pray kids learn to read before they hit 30. Inner-city schools didn't improve. They just got a new logo and a 5-year plan that led nowhere. And don't forget the gun control hypocrisy. Obama loved preaching about guns while being surrounded by more armed guards than a Marvel supervillain. Greg just rolls his eyes. It's not a gun problem for him. It's a "you have won" problem. If hypocrisy were an Olympic event, Obama would be on the podium in a tailored suit, holding a regulation-sized teleprompter. He deported more people than any other president while being called the most compassionate. Kids in cages? Yeah, he built those cages, just with soft lighting and a soothing piano soundtrack.
5 more words.
Fact. Obama's now a Republican.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody.
Then there's the debt. Obama nearly doubled it, and people still act like he was some kind of fiscal genius. Greg's jaw drops every time someone calls him economically responsible. That's like calling a pyromaniac a home heating expert. Sure, he inherited a mess, but then he wallpapered it, set it on fire, and blamed someone else for the smoke. After his presidency, Obama didn't retire, he rebranded. Now he's the country's most overpaid narrator.
On Sunday, Val Jarrett went on CNN to defend her pal, President Obama. I wonder if the president prides himself on the fact that his administration hasn't had a scandal and that he hasn't done something to embarrass himself.
The president prides himself on the fact that his administration hasn't had a scandal and that he hasn't done anything to embarrass himself.
Now that's a low bar for achievement. He hasn't embarrassed himself. But it's true, no one on his staff was caught in bed with a giraffe yet. But to agree with Val, you gotta ignore the IRS, the DOJ, Benghazi, Secret Service, Bo Bergdahl, and the secret server that led to the Orange Crush.
And let's not forget, Obama loved preaching unity, but his real strategy was divide and distract. While the country ripped itself apart over bathroom signs and pronouns, Obama kicked back like a guy who just tossed a grenade into a dinner party and complimented the drapes on the way out. Greg says he weaponized political correctness so thoroughly that disagreement became a hate crime and sarcasm turned into rebellion. The thing about Obama is he wasn't clueless, he was deliberate. Every move was staged, every speech rehearsed, every response timed just right to seem thoughtful. Greg calls it theater governance. He laughs at the idea that being scandal-free means anything. That's like saying a magician never slips up just because the crowd applauds. The only reason those scandals didn't explode was that the media treated them like awkward family skeletons, locked away in the basement, under a blanket, behind the fridge.